have hosting, and now you have your domain name. Now we have to do some technical things. Don't be scared, you will not break the internet. Again, we're in no rush. If you don't understand something, reach out to either your domain name registrar or your hosting company. They will have online help. Don't feel bad about using their online chat or sending a support ticket to figure something out. Or even Google your question. Many people have done this before and they've probably written about it. Our first step is to set the name server at your domain registrar. The place that you bought your domain name is called a registrar. To do this, you actually start with your hosting company. Your host should easily show you the name servers for your account somewhere on your dashboard. It is usually something like jason.cloudflare.com. Chat with technical support if you can't find them. There will be at least 2 name servers you need. Usually only the first part of the name will be different, so it'll be something like jason.cloudflare.com and pola.cloudflare.com. Copy these both down and pop over to your registrar. Your registrar will have a list of your domain names owned and a lot of information about them. There will be some option to edit or change name servers. This varies depending on who your registrar is. Just put in the 2 name servers you got and save the data. You're done. What you've just done is told the internet what host is now holding your domain. So when people do search for your site, they will go to jason.cloudflare.com at your local host to find you. And your host will forward them onto your local directory, thus your website. Now we head back to your host. You may have already set up your domain name at your host, in which case you're done. If you haven't done that yet, now you will have to add your domain name. This process is usually called something like add a domain name. This will allow your host to finish redirection of your traffic from the name server to your personal account, as well as set up a local directory in your domain to set up your website at. Whatever you put in that directory will be shown as your website. Now you just need to install WordPress into that directory. Most hosts will have a 1-button install of the current WordPress code, so press that. Otherwise, you will need to download WordPress from the WordPress website, expand it, and FTP it back to your root directory. If that just made your head explode, don't worry. I'm sure your host will have a step-by-step guide and tell you how to do it. It may sound hard, but it's really not. During the install, you will have to add in some various information like your website name, your email, and a login and password field. Use a good, strong password. Once that's all entered and the install ends, you are good to go. It may take a few hours for the name server info to propagate across the web. It's just a fancy way of saying making it actually work. But within 2 or 3 hours, you should be good to go and see your domain working. At this point, it's also worth noting that there's a front and a back side to your WordPress install. The front-facing side is the one that people see when they type in your domain name. And the back end or admin side is where you make changes to change your website. This area is protected by the username and password that you put in when you installed WordPress. You can get to your admin side by typing in your domain name, then adding a slash and the letters WP-admin. Soon we will take up making changes in your admin. When you begin editing your website, I suggest you keep 2 windows open. One for the back end of your site where you make the changes, and one for the front end so you can see those changes. As you make the changes on the back end, periodically refresh the front side so that you can see how the changes you made look. Make sure they're working the way you want them to. Also keep in mind that all the changes you make are reversible. So play around, kick the tires, make changes, be adventurous, see what things will do. Now is the time to experiment.